Welcome back, everybody. It's Zach here, bringing you guys another fantasy football video. And this time I'm going to be going over two quarterbacks and two tight ends that I've identified as potential values ahead of the 2025 fantasy football season. These are quarterbacks that are all being drafted, except for one, outside of the top 12 at their positions. And they're guys that I think have a great opportunity to crack into those and be reliable every week starters. Generally, values are guys that I just feel like are really safe bets to outperform their ADP and that I feel like are within the standard range of outcomes, assuming health, are pretty guaranteed bets to at least outperform where they're being drafted, and guys that I think are going to really help stabilize your roster, give you guys some stability at a pretty reasonably priced cost as well. So I like all four of these players. If you guys have any players you'd like added here, let me know in the comments below. Any disagreements, let me know in the comments below as well. I love talking to you guys there. I also went out and made videos for the values at the running back and the wide receiver position. So I highly recommend that you guys go take a look at those videos as well. And then as a reminder to all of you guys, on August 1st, my draft guide will be going out. Now, I'll probably just link it somewhere for you guys to just go download it. If you're interested, it's going to go over all of my values, sleepers, breakouts, busts, all that stuff. All that stuff's going to be compiled into a nice little PDF format for you guys. It'll be free, so I just wanted to put that out for you guys because a couple of you guys have asked for it. So should be a lot of fun. I should get that out August 1st. If not, it'll be Friday this week. So should be a lot of fun and super excited. Let's get into it, guys. So the first quarterback value for me is going to be Dak Prescott. And I think the real thing here is that Dak has just reliably been a top 12 quarterback pretty much every single year of his career that he's stayed healthy. He's been in the league for 9 years now. He's been a top 12 quarterback in 6 of them. The other 3, he suffered a season-ending injury. Not really fair to assume those. And even in those, he was on pace to be a top 12 guy. He's also been a top 6 quarterback 3 of those 9 years, so 3 of 6 healthy years. He's been a top 6 guy, which means he's been a very real difference maker. Just go back 2 years ago, he and CeeDee Lamb kind of won people championships, and I think there's a chance for Dak to go out and do that again this year. He's currently being drafted as the quarterback 13, so outside of that top 12, where he feels like he's been a lock to finish in every year of his career. And arguably, he has the best group of weapons he's ever had. You've got CeeDee Lamb and now a legitimate number 2 wide receiver in George Pickens. I think we saw Jalen Tolbert take a bit of a step forward last season as well. You got Jake Ferguson, a really solid tight end. They just gave him an extension. We're going to talk about him later as well. But really solid cast of weapons. And on top of that, they're in a division that's going to mandate they score a lot of points. Between Philadelphia and Washington, both those teams are going to easily put up a lot of points on Dallas. This defense in Dallas is not fantastic by any means, and I think the offense in New York got a little bit better as well. So I think Dallas is going to find their way into some shootouts this season. That's what you want. I think the Cowboys have a chance to go out there and be like a really similar version this year to what the Bengals were last year, where they've got a good passing game and pretty much nothing else on their team works. I think a top 6 finish is certainly in the range of outcomes for Dak. Again, he's done so 3 of 6 healthy years in his career. He's basically free in drafts right now as the quarterback 13. I think he's a great value, and he's definitely somebody that I'm targeting, especially if I draft CD early on or Pickens. A really fun stack to have there, someone that I would definitely target for sure. Next up, we got Gino Smith. Diving a little bit deeper here, but Gino's thrown for over 4,000 yards in 2 of the last 3 seasons, had almost 4,000 yards 2 years ago, so he hasn't quite done it 3 years in a row. But it's safe to say Gino's probably going to finish around that 4,000 yard mark this season. He's finished as the quarterback 8, 20, and 15 over the last 3 seasons, so has been a useful quarterback, glowing quarterback 1, streaming quarterback caliber guy every year the last 3 years, and he's got a legitimate cast of weapons here in Vegas. You've got Brock Bowers, arguably already the best tight end in the NFL. Jacoby Myers, kind of a perennially underrated wide receiver, a guy that's going to be a reliable asset for Gino. Ashton Jeanty, he's a beast. He gives them a superstar out of the backfield immediately, and they've also added some decent guys like Jack Besh. They've got Thornton, their 4th-round rookie. You've got some speedsters as well. There's enough pieces in this offense for this to be a really high-quality offense here. You've also got familiarity between him and Pete Carroll, so not like I know he switched teams, but you're not going to see like an entirely new system here. I know Pete's not the offensive mind for his teams, but still like you're going to see a lot of similar stuff here. I don't think Gino's going to be overwhelmed by any means. This is also a really bad defense in Vegas. They have not been good the last several years. They also just released Christian Wilkins. I know things didn't work out great there, but if you were going to like point towards potential reasons why this team could be better on defense this season, Wilkins would have been one of them coming back from injury. He's not going to be there, so don't really have that to look forward to if you're a Raiders fan here. And they're in a really tough division here. The Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos are all going to put up a lot of points on them. The Raiders could go out and be good this year and probably go 7-10. So they're probably going to be playing from behind quite a bit. They're going to need to score a lot. I think it's going to give Gino a really great opportunity to go out there and put up a lot of fantasy points. I think a top 12 finish is in the range of outcomes. He'll probably finish closer to like quarterback 15 in like the 15 to 12 range. I think is a good spot to bet he finishes in. And he's currently being drafted as a quarterback 27 off boards, right? So Especially in a super flex, a two quarterback league, Gino is a fantastic value there. And then if you need to stream him, I think Gino's going to be a guy we can stream a little bit this year. And it's the quarterback 27. It just seems like people aren't expecting that this year. Next, we got the one guy here who's not being drafted inside the top 12 at the position, and it's George Kittle. I know it's crazy to call the tight end 3 off boards a value, but I really think it's fair to say that Kittle is the value in drafts this season, and arguably one of the better values. There's a lot to be argued for Kittle potentially belonging in the same tier as Trey McBride and Brock Bowers, who are both being drafted in round 2. You have George Kittle currently going at the end of round 3 or early in round 4. Kittle last season was the tight end 1 in fantasy points per game, right? So let's not. I know Bowers was fantastic, Trey McBride was fantastic, but Kittle was better than both of them last season. I know he's older, but he's not quite at that age cliff at the tight end position yet. Didn't look like he was slowing down by any means last season, and really the entire offense is falling apart around him. You got Ricky Pearsall on the PUP, should come back relatively soon, but he hasn't yet, so that's something to be concerned about. And also, Pearsall is a guy who probably needed training camp to really come out and establish himself and be able to, become that wide receiver 1 this team needs him to be. Juwan Jennings, he's there, but he's upset about his contract. Even like the ancillary pieces, Demarcus Robinson, he got suspended for 6 weeks. Jacob Cowing pulled his hammy. You've got Christian McCaffrey trying to come back from injury. There's a chance that this entire offense just has to run through George Kittle, and I think there's a chance this offense is better than it was last season. Per Vegas, they're supposed to be the third best offense in the NFL this season. That's a very significant improvement from where they were last year. So there could be a lot more touchdown upside for Kittle this season than what they had last year. And again, he was the tight end 1 last season. So it's very possible that George Kittle goes out there and repeats this season as the tight end 1. Getting him as the tight end 3 off boards, that's really crazy value. He's definitely a guy I'm targeting and somebody that I think could be a really solid asset for us in fantasy. And it almost makes me want to wait to draft him in rounds 3 or 4 and not take McBride or Bowers because I think Kittle's a better value than them. But only one person in every league gets to do that. I wouldn't necessarily say you have to do that, but I do love the value on Kittle. I would still take McBride and Bowers just ahead of him, but like by a couple picks, not by like a couple rounds. So I like Kittle a lot. He's definitely a target for me, and I think you guys should be targeting him as well. And the last tight end we'll talk about here is going to be Jake Ferguson. And the thing with Ferguson is he's just the clear number 3 target in this offense. I think we're going to see a really strong consolidation of targets here. And Ferguson's been a focal point near the red zone for the Cowboys. I know it hasn't necessarily turned into touchdowns, but just 2 seasons ago, he led the entire league in red zone targets, was on pace to be a touchdown monster again last season before Dak went down. So there's a lot to be excited about with Jake Ferguson. His role is secure. He's going to play every single snap on an offense that's going to need to score a lot of points. And as the tight end 15 off boards, feels really reasonable for a guy that I think has like a legitimate shot at 10 touchdowns this season. I'm not saying that's likely by any means, but when you're drafting a tight end, like who's going to score 10 touchdowns? Is it Evan Ingram or is it Jake Ferguson? Like Ingram has never shown the ability to do that. Is Dallas Goedert going to go out there and score 10 touchdowns? Like Jake Ferguson feels like a guy with a lot more upside than some of the guys being drafted ahead of or around him, and I definitely want to be targeting tight ends on elite offenses with bad defenses. The Cowboys certainly fit that bill. They're going to be a team that needs to put up a lot of points to win games, and I feel really good about Ferguson finishing into the top 12 this season if he stays healthy. And I honestly think like a top 5 finish is in the range of outcomes if he just got lucky and scored 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns will pretty much get you to the top 5 finish at the tight end position regardless of anything else. See Mark Andrews last season as an example. I think that could happen for Ferguson this season, so he's not a guy that I want to forget about. Sort of like a post-type sleeper, because a lot of people were really in on him last year, and then you had Dak go down to injury, and most of the same stuff still applies, except Pickens is there. Pickens just, in my mind, helps this offense. Pickens is not like a huge target hog, right? Like you could see both Ferguson and Pickens near like an 18 to 22% target share, CD up near 30. And then you get like Tolbert and the running back sprinkled in for the rest. But I think Ferguson's got a shot to even be the number 2 target. I'm not going to finish second in yards, right? That's going to be Pickens. But Ferguson's going to be a focal point near the red zone. I like him quite a bit. And he's definitely someone that I think is worth at least taking a look at late in drafts if you wait on tight end. So that'll do it for the quarterback and tight end values. Up next, I'll be going over some auction draft strategies. It's a fun video I do every single year. I'll relate some of the most popular strategies in auction drafts to actual players and some like example rosters you guys can look to make this year. So if you do auction drafts, I highly recommend you guys watch those. Really tough to find good auction draft content, so that's sort of why I make an effort to put that out for you guys, because I love auction drafts, and when I was first getting into it, it was really tough to find anybody that was putting anything out there. So stay tuned for those videos. I'll get that out probably tomorrow, and then there will be a lot more stuff. We'll get into some mock drafts. A lot of stuff coming up. Again, reminder, there will be the draft kit coming out on August 1st. That's the plan. We're also going to have a subscriber league, so if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below. We'll probably try and get that spot filled It'll be me, last year's winner, and then we got 10 more spots there. So get it filled up with 12 teams. Should be a lot of fun. We'll try and get that filled up here in the next several weeks and get that draft scheduled for sometime in late August. So if you haven't already, make sure you like the video. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Again, there's going to be a ton of content going forward. Make sure you guys don't miss it. I'll be here all year long to help you guys win your championships, and I think we'll have a lot of fun together along the way. So yeah, really appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you with the next one. Peace. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out these other videos here if you haven't. If you want more content, please feel free to follow me on Twitter at RealSteelFFB. I'll be more active on there as the season goes on. Thanks. Catch you later.